Hello there, it's Kim again, coming to you with another paper crafting video. It's Kim with Wild Rose and Pearl. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based out of the Okanagan, British Columbia, Canada. So today we're coming to you with the January paper pumpkin. They process them on January 10th, but then of course you have to wait for shipping and then time in life to get things done. But yeah, the box is decorated this time, so that's pretty fun. These make for great boxes that you can just send a whole bunch of your handmade cards. You can put them inside these boxes. They fit really great. So when they're decorated like this, it's just extra fun. Okay, so we're gonna open this up and see what we got in here. Okay, we've got our stamp set. Now, Paper Pumpkin comes with everything you need, but it is a stamping kit. It is not a standalone kit that has just die cuts with sentiments on it. You get to stamp with these ones. So we've got our stamp set. We're gonna put that there. Our color this month is Poppy Parade. So like a bright, slight undertone of orange kind of red. I'm just gonna take this out. Always kind of a matching stuffing paper, or a lot of times they'll do that. And we're calling this one Special Delivery. Looks like we've got some cards this time, some great envelopes with some pattern paper designs on it. Okay, so we're gonna break this one open here. It looks like they're using that postage style die cuts in here. We do have a die cut set that is called Perennial Postage, and it gives you that great postage style die cut with the stamp edge, like a mailing stamp. Okay, so breaking this one open, and then we'll be able to pull out our stamped print image print. So you get everything you need. We've got some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals here. We've got some tear and tape adhesive. All of our bits are in here, and then we've got our instructions. Nice backing paper here. I saved those for folio books. You know, if you can reuse stuff, that's great. So we've got kit components, contains supplies for 9 cards, 9 envelopes. Our coordinating colors are Blueberry Bushel, Bubble Bath, Darling Duckling, Garden Green, Mossy Meadow, Poppy Parade, and Gold. So there's gold accents in here. The other thing you can do is grab the add-on. So look at that. They've got that postage style die cut is going to be one of the shapes in there. And then this covers 3 months worth of paper pumpkins. So in some of the other months, it kind of gives you kind of a peekaboo as to what might be coming up. So we've got the word beautiful is going to be coming up, and some daffodil or tulip-like flowers. Yeah, so then what you do is you take your paper pumpkin like this, you open it up to the first page here, and it's going to give you all the components to pull out and separate. So I like to do that with all of my bits. We will go here, and I'll be able to now show you the stamp set. So we've got a lovely love here, airmail, sending love, you brighten my day, just for you, happy Valentine's, and some floral and like a postage. I can't remember what they call that when they put it through the mail and you get that stamp that says, hey, we've processed this stamp. Can't reuse that one. Okay. So we won't be using the envelopes today, so I will pull those out and we can have a look at those first. How about we look at those? So we've got 3 different colors of envelopes, 3 each. They are, oh, it's not really plaid, but it is like a lined pattern. And they've got the postage style stamp in here looking, and then you could stamp a sentiment in there or write your address. If you, of course, cut this apart and turn this into paper, which a lot of people do for alternatives, you could just cut this out, and then that kind of becomes its own focal point. They are not lined with a design. The design's on the outside, so the inside is clear. But yeah, so there's our 3 envelopes that we have in the kit. I'll put those aside because we won't be using those today. And we'll start pulling out our components. So they have shown the matching envelope that goes with the matching card. So they've chosen them for you. Of course, you could just change it around all you wanted and make them your own. So here we've got, the first one here is calling for, what does this card look like? We've got 3 pink, 3 of these. Oh, and then 3 of these. And 3 of these. Okay, so this might be a different kind of fold. So they're calling for one of these. I'm not seeing a normal card base for this one. So they're calling for this is for number 1. Then they're calling for one of these big flowers here, one of these big pieces. And the die cuts, you just pull them out really gently. You can just tug them out. And I've talked before about how these are great for traveling because everything you need is in this kit. The first time you get a subscription, they'll give you a stamping block. It is thinner than our normal D-size block, but it's great for travel. If you forget your block, you can always use your cell phone, all kinds of other things you can stick it to. But this is the block I'll be using today, is our D size, just because it has like an easier hold. There's grips on the side here, ergonomically friendly, apparently. Okay, so then we've got our little sprig. We've got this big rose I'm going to pull out of here. That's called for as well. We've got our 3 stamps. We've got a little piece here. Okay, so that's going to come out for another one too. So let's just pull that out so we can get rid of those sheets. We'll pull that one out. That is going to be used for another card. I know it, but I'm just going to tug it out so I can take this set out of my stuff. Okay, so that one's going to get moved aside. We make 3 of each, right? But we're not going to be needing that again. Okay. So the next up we're not going to be needing these either because that's our base. Next up we need to pull from these and these. Okay, this and this. So I'm going to grab one of the gold pieces. These are great for doing with friends too. You can invite a friend over, have a cup of coffee, and make some kits. These 3 will be used for another card, I can see. And then we need one of these. And again, they've put in 4, so if you have a boo-boo, you've got an extra. We've got that. They've got something white here. Okay, here's our folded white piece. This is kind of going to be the card now. Perfect. We'll put that in there. All right, that's card number 1. Now we'll move to card number 2. We're going to grab these 3 flowers. So now this one is all the components are out of this sheet now. Okay. We're also going to need one of these circles. We'll pull that out. We're going to need the patterned card base, number 2. So let's put all of our pieces on there. We're going to need one of these lovely designs. That's really pretty. I feel like this goes with one of the stamp sets that we have. It's very similar design of flower. It kind of reminds me of my wild rose design, actually. I've really gravitated towards the stamp set that's very much like that too. Okay, so it looks like we've got all of our pieces here. We've got all of our stamping and our adhesives. Okay, then card number 3. We're going to grab one of these. So now we're done with this. We've grabbed one of each of those. We are going to grab one of these, which has a ton of little bits in it. Tons of little bits. So this whole thing is going to come over. And then we've got a pink card base. Basic pink card base. And that lovely blue flower we pulled out earlier. So now I've got everything off to the left here. And we'll pull each one in as we use it. Okay. Next thing I'll show you is with our stamping spot. Now, if you have Poppy Parade full size, always pull that in. I mean, if you're at home and you're doing this, pull out in your full size. It's just a little easier to use. But these stamping spots are great. We've also got a new stamp positioning tool coming. And the stamping spots are great for doing that. Just because you can get a little more control when you're using your stamp pad to stamp onto things versus stamping into a pad. Yeah. So these do have their uses for sure. There are techniques you can do with just stamping spots. So I just take my scissors and I go away from the body along the seam line of the bottom and the top of the stamping spot. And then I just open up one side so that it kind of always stays nice and protected, right? It wants to close and stay closed. Okay, so we've got that done. Now we need to start pulling in some of our stamps. So let's start working on card number 1. We're going to do 3 stamps here, all on our pieces of paper, and then follow through to the next steps. Okay, so let's start off with Happy Valentine's. Happy Valentine's. Just going to give this a little bit of trying to get that residue from the factory off of there, and then I'm just going to do a little cleaning just off camera on my stamping scrub. Going to lay this down in its natural way. So we're going to put the instructions up to the top here. Try and keep them in the frame. Okay. Then I'm going to pick it up, make sure it's nice and relaxed in its natural state. And then I'll pick it up with my stamping block, and then that one's ready to go. So we're going to pull in our green piece here. So we'll keep all the other components over there, and we're just going to pull in the green piece to start. Place it like so. And we're going to stamp, actually we're going to pull in this little tab here. I'm just going to cut off any little bits that might be from the factory tabs. Any little bits that might be on there. Okay. We are going to stamp Happy Valentine's. Happy Valentine's. Anybody ready for Valentine's? I'm not ready for Valentine's. I do want to make some Valentine's with my kiddo though. And maybe invite some of her little friends over and they can make a few Valentines. Okay, my head might end up in the screen here. I just want to make sure I'm getting my Happy Valentine's right on there. Nice and straight. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, I'm going to wash off that stamp and put that one aside just in case I need it later. Sometimes we double up and we use the same stamps more than once. Okay, next one I've got is this, that's what it's called. Canceling the envelope, canceling the mail. It gets canceled. Hand canceled, I guess is what they call it. So yeah, I'm just gonna take off that residue, wash that stamp off, and we're ready to go. Take my stamping spot, just gonna place my ink right on the stamp. Yeah, canceling the envelope. And sometimes when you have really thick ones that have a lot of embellishments on it, you can just ask for them to be hand canceled, I guess. I've never really asked for that to be done. But if you really have a good relationship with your post office, there's all kinds of lovely things that they will do for you. So we're just in the top left-hand side. And the little canceling part is going over, but not off the edge. So it's going over the green line, but not off the edge. Okay, so that one's done. Easy peasy. And then we'll grab our love, love, love with our little heart stamp. Now this one would be fun for a little, if you had a whole bunch of circle dies or something, because there's nothing that says that these can't be reused. That's the beauty of it. You're getting this great value of this kit because you get the stamp, so you can reuse it. I have pulled in these stamps so many times for sentiments. There's a lot of sentiments in the paper pumpkins that work for all kinds of occasions. So I have pulled into this collection. I now have quite a collection of stamping spots and stamps. So bottom right hand corner with little heart, just right in the corner of that nice green, going over the edge a little bit. Okay, there we go. And that's all of our stamping. Next up, we are going to start putting some adhesives on stuff. So I'm just going to trim off any of those little bits off of my die cuts again. That one's looking pretty good. And that one's going to get 2 strips of the tear and tape that comes in. And I save these little bags for like any extra die cuts that I have, or if I want to pull out the pieces out of the kit, I can just put them in that little bag so I don't have to hold those big papers. Okay, so we've got one here, 1 strip here, and we've got 1 strip here. There we go. 1 and 1. Then they're putting 1 strip across the back of this one, that Happy Valentine's Day. So 1 little strip across the back of that. Okay, and then our rose, again, making sure that I've got no little tags. This one looks really good. Just a little one there. That's it. We're going to be putting some dimensionals. Now, this is where I'm going to pull in an extra tool that you will not get, but that I love. It's called your Take Your Pick tool. And I just pick up these and place them on to my project here. I'm trying to follow the directions of where they put the dimensionals. Sometimes there's a reason for that, just based on elements that may be underneath it. So yeah, sometimes it's good to follow how they've done it, just so that you get, I'm just going to put that back over there because I want to be able to see all my bits here. Okay. Let's do 1 on the big one. I kind of want to do 1 on this small one too, but I feel like that's going to be a double up because it's going to be layered just right. 1 there. And 1 on all 1, 2, 3, 4 of the lower leaves. So this leaf must be going on a piece that's already popped up. So they haven't asked for you to put dimensionals on that. There's almost always a reason why. So I'm going to follow the instructions. Normally that's not me. Normally I get myself into trouble by not following instructions. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so we've got this piece here. Okay, so the card is in the back. So we're actually going to be taking this piece and putting it onto this piece. So this card, it doesn't really show that, but I can tell that that's kind of what you have to do. I can tell that that's what you're doing. And maybe it shows a little better in the front. That front piece is there. So this is the part you're going to write in. So it does definitely have to go on that. So we're going to grab a bone folder. It's not in your kit, but you can just pull out your bone folder. or use the side of your block. That will work too. You can take the side of your block and just run that along just to crease that edge, just like a bone folder. Okay, so now we're going to place 2 strips of tear and tape on the back of this, making sure we're in from the edges so that we don't, because that card underneath is smaller. Now, I've never seen a card done like this before, so this is new to me and rather interesting. Rather interesting. So glad I was able to figure that out and decipher that that's what they were trying to do. That would be a little bit strange for people to be like, okay, well, why does that go there and there? So let's make sure we've got our top and our bottom lined up. And then I'm going to peel off the backs, and I'm actually going to place this centered this direction. So I'm going to peel off my backs here, making sure I'm opening it in the right direction. Let's make sure I double check that one more time. So here's my opening card. Of course, I would get a sniffly nose while I'm on a video. Of course that would happen. Okay, well, at least I'm not having a different kind of nose issue. Okay, so we're gonna open this up like this. So that means that I'm gonna want this to go like this on there. So I'm gonna take both pieces now and go like this so that I can line this up real nice and even on my card base. Now, when I go to open it, it's gonna open just like that. Yay! That was probably the most complicated part. Okay, next up, super easy. We're gonna take our backing off of this piece here. You can also use the tips of your scissors to pull these backings off, or nails if you have them. I don't have fancy nails. I'm a nail biter, so that's never been a really good thing for me. Okay, so we're just going to center this one up and down, left and right in the center of the front of that card. Just want to make sure I get my spacing really good. Okay, and then we're going to add our little bits here. These little bits are going to go on next. And I feel like, oh, okay, we're going like this. We're going to take our little leaf here. We're going to put that in towards the heart. Those 2 pieces are going to be directly above. And there is no reason why I can't put dimensionals on these 2 pieces. I'm going to do it because I feel like it would be stronger. So I'm going to pull in 2 more. I'm going to put it really low though, so that it's in there. But I would love the integrity of these 2 pieces, just not to get caught on anything and fall off and have it get pulled. So I'm just going to add them on, even though it doesn't call for it. There's always extra dimensionals. Don't worry about that. I just want it to be nice and strong, and I don't want anything to get pulled. So I'm going to do that. Okay. All right. So we've got our love right into the end of that circle. We've got this little bit coming out the bottom. This one's crossing that line. This one's crossing a little bit over the top one, and kind of nice and centered here. Let's move that back just a little bit. Eek. Good thing they're very lightly touching. Okay, let's line that up again. Our little stick in there. I just want to make sure I don't crush that in my envelope, so I'm trying to make sure that these don't get crushed in the envelope. Okay, but they're within the boundaries. Okay, next up is our pretty flower, and we're going to be placing that right in here. Okay, let's take our backings off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty. And there we go. Pull the strip off the back of our Happy Valentine's. That's really going to tie that Poppy Parade in there. And we're just placing that right on top of all these leaves. We're going to allow the leaves to pop that up because they've already got dimensionals on them. So we're just placing that there. Okay, so there's our first card. Really fun, but very different. Again, I was not expecting that smaller sized card on the back, but that is a really fun. Leave it to Stampin' Up! To do something different and unique to make us all keep on our toes, you know. Okay, so here's number 2. Just want to make sure you can see all the things there. Okay, first up I'm just going to fold this card base. Just going to get that out of the way. Fold this up, and then I'll put it aside. Actually, I can't put it aside. I have to stamp it. So we are going to do some stamping. Now, if you fold a card, sometimes you'll notice one is slightly a bit larger than the other. Just always put the larger side to the front, and then no one will know. Also, these are double-sided, so if you want to, you can take a clean white card base, cut it in half, and then you can use the other half for another card, another design with just your stamps and stuff. Just another way to stretch your kit. Yeah, so just put that front panel on and nobody will be the wiser. Okay, next up, airmail stamp. Airmail. Just gonna rub that residue off, and I'm not really caring about, as you can see, like this stamp is photopolymer, so it can curve. So if I don't lay it in its natural state, I can curve it to any way I like. But for these cards, we want them nice and straight. So once I'm done doing this, I'll pull it back off the stamp, and I will let it lay nice and straight in its natural way. And then I will pick it up again with my block. So then I know it's nice. It's going to give me the image that it's kind of asking for. Let's put that block down. Much easier to just stamp on top of that. These have been stamping really well today. They're fairly small lettering, so I don't feel like it's a solid image and it's gonna have any issues. Okay, so airmail. Is off to the right here. It's funny because this one I would definitely want to put the airmail on first on this top corner just to get my spacing right. But then down here, I'm going to need the hearts on the bottom. So why don't I just do a little funniness here? Because when I come down, my hearts are going to go there. So I'm going to play a silly little game here. It means my stamp is going to connect to my block again, but I just want to get that spacing. So we've got our top one there. That one's in good shape, but this one was spaced over top of the hearts, and I didn't want to mess it up. That's an easy way to space it. So we're going to do this airmail off to the left here at the bottom. Now I've spaced my hearts, but you can see how I picked up my hearts. That's okay. I'm just going to pull those off. We're going to clean this one over here. Nice and clean now. Oh, I dropped it off the table. It'll be fun. Hide and seek game later. Try and find the stamp on the floor. Okay, this one here, I've got to just season this one anyway, clean it off, so I'm not super concerned about how it's sitting right now. Okay, let's give that a clean, because it helps the, once you clean off that residue, it just helps the ink to pool on it very nicely versus when you don't. Okay, here we go. The ink just sticks to the stamp better rather than pooling and pulling off. So you get a nice, good image. We've got our hearts right here. Nice on the bottom there. Perfect. And then this one here, they've only got like 4 or 5 of the hearts on the top here. So they've kind of pulled off the edge. We're only kind of getting 5 of them underneath the airmail there. Okay, awesome. That is done. Now, like I said before, they might pull in some of those stamps that we've already used. And they are. So we're going to pull in this love one with the heart again. But that part's done. So we're going to put that aside, and then we're going to pull in this beautiful image. Let's make sure we got it in the right direction. Okay, here we go. And now we're going to stamp the love. What have we done here? Okay, we're going to stamp this love one onto the bottom here with the heart just a little off kilter. I think it's just meant to make it so it's just going over the bottom of this flower, and it's butted right up against the bottom of that leaf there, but it's still fully on the card. So we're going to go a little bit to the right there. But like I was saying, it's fully on the card. So it's still fully on the card, but it's butted right up against that leaf, going over that flower a little bit. So that one can be cleaned off, and then we're going to grab the Sending Love, season that one, and this one's going to go into that little circle, that little pink circle. So we're going to season that one. I just like that it's kind of a surprise for me. Otherwise, I would do all this ahead of time, seasoning them all ahead of time, you know. But I'm surprised by the cards just as much as you're surprised by them. So it allows for an authentic experience of, am I excited? Am I not excited? Do I like it? Do I not like it? Usually I usually like them all. Any creativity to me is just really awesome. Like my friends, whenever I see them be creative and proud of what they're making, it always makes me so happy. Okay, now I've had that drying for a little bit. So a thing you can do is you can breathe on it. You can huff your breath onto it, and it will reactivate the ink and make it ready again. So I'm just gonna on there, and then because I had put it aside, it was drying that whole time. It's fast drying ink. I'm going to try really hard not to get my head in there and try and center that nice and straight. Gonna have to, if I get my head in there, you get to see all my wisdom glitter. My gray hair. Okay, so we've got those two, and now we're ready to start, excuse me, putting adhesive on and assembling our cards. Alrighty, I'm just going to take all these little bits off of here. Any of the little bits we got on these ones, get them prepped and ready to go on. And then I'll grab my Take Your Pick tool, put all of my dimensionals and tear and tape on the back. Now you can see how easy it would be to do this while you're camping. You can already see, like, all I need is, well, you could use a baby wipe. Sometimes you get a little bit of, like, to clean your stamps. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of, like, lint from a baby wipe, but nothing you can't just kind of pull off with your hand if you're, you know, looking. And then there you go. You can create while you're in a hotel and you don't want to watch the TV. If you ever have to go to the hospital and visit a friend, it's kind of fun to do something with them while they're stuck in their bed. Nobody wants to go to the hospital, but we're grateful for everybody that takes care of us while we're there. Okay, we've got 2 of these. Now I'm going to make sure that I've got this going left to right, just because I believe these are going to want to be in the center here. So I'm just going to say, normally I would do 3 for stability. You know what? I got the edges, so I'm just going to do 3 for stability. Okay, we've got 1, 2. Now, I don't believe these are really going to get in the way of anything, so I'm just going to place 2 on here, 1 on here. They're kind of just making those pieces just a little more. They're doubling up on this layer. So if you wanted to, they're doubling these up. They're making these pop up a little bit more. But you can see, like, this is really pretty. So you wouldn't technically have to use these. You could create a whole other card with these doubled up images, which could be really fun. Okay. Can you imagine if you just did this card as it is with just this base here, right? Let's just do a little mock-up of that, okay? So we're going to do this card, and like I said before, you could split these in half, right? So we're going to place this card here. We're going to take these 3 pieces here, and I'm just going to say that place this one here, right? And I'm going to say this is a really cute card as it is, right? This is really cute just as it is. And the only thing we're using these for is to make these stand out better. Now, let's say I cut the back off and I wanted to make another card. Let's just play for 1 second here. And I told you that I mentioned that we had an extra one of these, right? So let's take this out. Let's do sending love. Let's say we were going to stamp sending love again right on there. Okay. Why couldn't we take these 3 flowers here and make ourselves a lovely card just by going like this? Stamping a little bit more of that airmail here and here with some hearts here and here. Maybe add a little bit of twine, and then you've got yourself a whole other card front. Now, this is just me showing you how much you can extend that kit by just splitting up the pieces and extending them, and that gives you an extra card. There are lots of demonstrators online that do alternatives. You can join the Paper Pumpkin Fan Club and you can get lots of ideas. But for the sake of today, of course, we're going to do the card the way it's intended. I just wanted to just run that through with you. Just a little mock-up of how you can extend these card kits. So this one here is going to go on this flower here. And I just need to figure out, is it a perfect lineup? I don't feel like it is. I don't think it lines up with the one underneath perfectly. It's just meant to pop up a bit more. Maybe it does line up just right. No, doesn't look like it. Okay, so we're going to put that one there. We're going to take the big one. And we're going to place that one off to the right here. Or no, did I do this wrong? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, so this one was supposed to go down there. I'm just going to pull this off very gently. Great way to get adhesive off is just roll your finger over it, and it usually comes off quite nicely. So that one, yeah, okay. I had the wrong flower and the wrong flower. They do match up quite nicely. So I'm going to take these ones off. And remember, there's extras, so we don't have to worry about that. One, two, pull off these, and now, how does this one line up? Kind of like that. There we go. It's lining up now. Okay, and then we've got our little one here. Let's see if I can do this right again. There we go. That's lined up. So all that really did was just create more dimension to the card. So those little flowers are popped up now. So they just create a little bit more dimension. But like I said, you could do it on the other side and make an extra card front. Okay, so that one is now done. Done card number 2. We're making some good headway here. And we even talked about how to make an alternative. So that was a fun little add-on. Okay, number 3. Wow. I think these are all going to be popped out. Okay. So first of all, we are going to take our piece here. Let's just fold this card base in half. Let's do that first like we did last time. Put that one away. I'm going to fold this one in half. Now this one's not going to be stamped on directly. We're just going to put that aside. Next up, we're going to pull in our lovely postage stamp piece here, and we're going to stamp our canceled mail card again. Now, I don't have to season it again, right? We've already done that. So I can just start stamping directly on that stamp, and we will be good to go. We're going to place that right in the middle of this lovely gold one here. One. And then we've got a heart circle that's going to be stamped on this one. So let's grab our heart circle and we will stamp that one directly across the 2 top blue flowers here. And this was straight up and down, and it's stamped right in the center there. Okay, awesome. Clean that one off. And we're gonna pull in our last stamp here, just for you. Just for you. And then look at that, we've still got 2 stamps left. So we've got our lovely floral that we haven't used yet, the floral here, and then You Brighten My Day, which we haven't used yet. So if you didn't want to do Happy Valentine's Day, you could probably just do Brighten My Day or something else. Oh, haven't cleaned this one off yet. So let's get that done. Nice and cleaned off. We're going to lay that one down. Grab our block, pick it up, get our ink on there. Just think of all the lovely cards you could send out to people by having a paper pumpkin card collection. If you just did your paper pumpkins, stored them away, you could pull them out anytime you need. No need to go for an extra stop to the store to get your card, and you made it yourself. So it comes from the heart, right? All right, we're going to do Just For You, centered right in the center of that one. And again, I'm going to come in a little closer here so I can make sure I get all the words on there. I have an extra one just in case I mess it up, but I did not mess it up. Yay! All righty, so we are now going to, oh, this is so interesting. So they place it on and then you pull off the frame after it's adhered on, just so that you line them up straight. I like that. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we're going to grab our dimensionals. We're going to put them on the back, and they're just putting them all over to create stability. I'm going to do rule of thirds here for stability. You could do them the way that they've done it, where it's just 2. But I like to have that stability on there. And remember, when you use your stamping dimensionals, The outside edges are the same. So these outside edges here that you see that are outside of the hexagon cutouts, that's all dimensionals too. Use your scissors, cut them up. I'll even do that right now. So I'm going to use my scissors. I'm going to cut these up. These are going to be my extra pieces that I can use on my stuff here. Just going to add these extra ones on. Let's put these on there. 1. Grab some big pieces here. 2. I like to have 3 if I can. How many have I got? I'm trying to see where the creases are so I can see how many I need to put on. How many left I gotta do? 1, 2, 3. Rectangles are really easy. 2 corners and then a middle. Oh, and I didn't get enough on this one here. Okay. Alrighty. Then we've got 2 dimensionals on this one. 1 and 2. And then we've got a whole bunch on the back of this one. Have we got some standing? No. Getting better with that laser print. Okay. So here comes the tricky business. We are going to be placing this straight up and down, perfectly centered on there. So we're going to take off all of our backings. And then place it on the card. I got one backing already off there that's grabbing onto my hand. I gotta make sure I don't rest my hand on there. I just love this Take Your Pick tool for this job. It's so much easier to get these backs off. I just love that this is like sending love, because you send these in the mail to people, and so you're sending them a little piece of you, a little piece of your creativity in the mail, wishing them well. Okay, so we've got all these pieces on here now, and we're just going to center this, which is a slight bit larger than the card base. So I'm going to go right from the top, nice and centered. It's like a slight bit larger, or maybe it's the same. Yeah, maybe it's the same size. So then they've got that placed down, and then what you do is you take the piece here and pushing down as you pull up. You're going to push down on the piece that you're pulling away from. So pushing down on this piece, I'm going to pull away really lightly, not too hard, and then this frame will pull away from it. So going very lightly. I won't be able to cut off the little bits, but that's okay. That's okay for this one. I'd rather do this than probably try and line them up, right? So I'm just lightly pressing on my postage stamp pieces and then pulling up at the same time. I'm hoping, yeah, you can see all what I'm doing here. Perfect. Pulling up. And now it's in the grid. It's in the grid shape that it came in. Kind of wish I stamped that heart off to the left a little bit, but like, look at how great that is. Now, thankfully, it was in the right direction. I would say probably double check that before you do it. But look at how great that is. Okay, now it's calling for some dimensionals on the back of these flowers as well. So we'll put some of those into the middles of all of the flower heads. That's what it's called for. So we'll take the backings off of those. And this pretty flower is going to go across from the right. The leaf is just above the rose on the right, and then it's going across, and the little bluebells are just going to be over that last one there. So that's how we're going to place it. Oh, this is so pretty. It's a lot prettier in person. Okay, and then our Just For You, we're just going to center that on the bottom here. And it's funny, when you look at the publication, it looks like a peachy pink versus like this is more of a peachy pink. And then when you look at the card, it's quite like, it's quite a different pink. So it kind of, you know, confuses me a little bit visually. I'm like, why is it not peach? But I really like this because these saturated colors are really pretty. Like this pretty blue. This blue is so pretty. It's like a purpley blue. And then you've got all that dimension to it. You can see it's all popped up there. Yeah, this is a great little kit. This is cute. Okay, so again, like I said, you still got 2 stamps you haven't used so that you can use those for all your alternatives. So here is our creations for today. Thank you so much for watching. And just think, right now there's also another thing where you can join up and you can get the stamp positioning tool for free right now when you join. And then I believe they throw in a paper pumpkin for you to give it a try with part of your starter kit. They'll give you all the business supplies and everything, and then they throw in one of these just because they want you to know what it's like to do paper pumpkin. I want you to see what it's all about. Okay, so here we go. There's our creations for today. I hope this inspires you to create on your own if you have it. Yeah, I think the tip about cutting it in half and turning it with some of the extra pieces or the duplicate pieces, turning it into something from your own creation and extending that kit is really fun. So thank you for watching. Again, I hope this inspires you and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.